Hello everybody, Eerie Arachnids here. I'm doing another update video on the collection. I got an email the other day, and I'm not a big advocate of doing this, but anyway, I got an email the other day from PetSmart, from the rewards program. I don't even pay attention to the rewards program or what I actually get, what I've accomplished, or what any of that crap. But they had a 50% off sale on small animals. So pretty much, like geckos and tarantulas, scorpions, anything that they have like that, gerbils, rats, stuff like that. Anyway, they've had a pink toe there. I can't tell you how long they've had that, poor thing. And I considered getting it before, I don't say that you rescue an animal from a pet store, because you don't. You may rescue them from the conditions that they're in, but you're just going to put another one in its place. But sometimes you just can't help yourself. And I kind of couldn't help myself on this one. So I decided I was going to go ahead and get it, even though I didn't really want any more arboreals, but I'm really getting into the Avix a little bit more. So this is the one that was there. Okay, now there's my little Phidippus oryx. You could see of course, how they keep them. I'm actually surprised they actually have soil in there, not just the chips, but they do have the chips, they have the leaf, and the spider is, if I get my fat fingers out of the way, up in the corner there. I'm blocking the camera too. It's been like that every time I go in there, and I get crickets for the geckos, or I got worms or whatever it was. I think last time I got a big thing of mealworms for the geckos and for the spiders, and a bunch of real small, tiny. They're the place that has the smallest crickets that I can find. So I generally go to PetSmart when I need real small crickets, and when I don't want to use the red runners for the slings. It all depends on what my mood is. If I want to dig through that roach bin and try to separate them and get a bunch of them, then I do. But so every now and then I'll stop in there, I'll get some small crickets, and generally I get a box of crickets for the geckos, and I'll let them feed at their will. And that's the way we've been doing it with them forever. It may not be the right way, but they seem to eat when they want, and crickets usually don't seem to bother them. And I know the blizzard, I think that's what, the whitish grayish one, will only eat the crickets. He hardly eats anything else. So anyway, they had that pink toe, and so I went in there and I said, I missed the sale, like, oh well, don't worry about it, we'll still give it to you for that much. Well, the problem is that that one that I just showed you was actually up for adoption, because I guess it came in missing a leg. I haven't verified that yet because I haven't got it out. But since it wasn't a whole animal, they've had it up for adoption, but they never put a sign up saying that. Because if that were the case, I would have took it a long time ago, months ago when it came in. So they had another one, and there it is right there, just a little one. So I said, well, I'll take the adoption one because I didn't have to pay for it. And I was like, but I really wanted to get the one at 50% off. I just missed it the other day. And they're like, so we'll do that with this one. So in a long story short, I only paid like 12 something for the two of them. And again, I don't really want to say support the stores and buy their spiders and stuff like that. But every now and then you just do it. And a lot of people that I've seen on the club say, oh, don't support them, are the ones that are buying them. So I don't really care, honestly, I don't care. The spider seems to be in good health. So I put this thing together. I've had this little thing for a while. I think I have something similar to this. I'm going to put in another one for the one that's missing the leg. So I got to dig that out. I got to figure out where I put it. If not, I'll put some bark together and make a bark with some leaves on that one instead of what we have here. But I want to see what this one does in here. So I thought I'd show you guys the enclosure. It's all this is like I think it's like a bamboo kind of thing. It's got the rock part down there for, it's probably more for a aquarium than it is anything. I really don't know, but I thought it would be good for this little one, as long as it doesn't web up top, because, you know, the lid's black. So, you know, when the lid's up there, I just want to make sure that I'll be able to see it. The little one poking out right here. So I'm going to transfer that guy over to there, hopefully without too much problem. Get that one set up, and then I'm going to find the other decoration that I wanted to use if I haven't used it already. I had this, which I thought would be good to use, but it won't fit in here. It won't fit through the lip here. See, it kind of gets... I tried every which way I possibly could, but it won't fit through the lip. So, oh, you can't even see it, can you? Yeah, it won't fit. Or I would have put that in there, and then it could have used the back side of that as, you know, an area to web up. But I'll find something to put in another one. I do have another couple of these, actually. And then they'll go up there. We'll stack the baseball cubes up side by side. And there's the other Avic. This one's a Avic Metallica, or Avic Morph Type 6. I got some pictures of it the other day, and it's got some serious white tip setae. So we'll find out as it gets bigger, to be sure. And here's my male. See him down there? There he is. He's out now. He didn't mature, so that's really, really cool. That'll give my female another chance to molt again and get a little bit bigger. And then I can almost guarantee that his next molt, he'll mature. So, yeah, we got some Avic stuff going on, but I really want to get this one in here and then see what we got going on with the other one, and I'll get that enclosure set up. But, so the next time you see me, you'll see this spider in here, and hopefully the other enclosure all set up and ready to go, and the other spider getting ready to go into that one. I kind of like the way that looks. Kind of looks rainforesty. Okay, well, let's see what happens, and hopefully we don't... Why does that light do that? That's where the flashlight, it does that. You don't see it in person. You know, you can't visually see it, but you see it on the camera where it's like wavy. Anyway, hopefully we'll get this one in without too much issue and it going too far. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we're in. That went pretty hassle-free. There it is right there. We have no idea what species this is right now. We'll have to wait till it gets a little bit of size on it, and we'll find out whether... I mean, the only way I can really discern them is, I say everything's got the reddish hairs, you know, coming out of wild caught or specimens from Petco or PetSmart or places like that, or generally Avicularia. Avicularia, and the ones that have the white tip setae are generally the Avic Morph Type 6 or the Avic Metallicas. That's about the only two that I really can discern as far as the Avicularia go. Now, of course, you know, your Rufa is not hard to discern, and you know, when you get to the Carabinas and the Leta and Versicolor, Avicularia purpurea, they're all easily discernible from the beginning. But some of the other ones, like Marianae, there's a V. I don't remember what that one is, but there's a handful of Avicularia species that are kind of hard to tell apart as slings. So we're just going to let this one grow and see what it does, and we're just going to label it as Avicularia species. And yeah, I like them. I mean, they're a lot of fun to own. I know people that strictly only do Avicularia, and there's nothing wrong with that, because there are some really, really cool spiders, and they're generally docile. They do poop a lot. They do like to shoot it if you bother them, and they do take their time molting, but they're generally decent eaters. And I think this one will make a nice little web in here, and hopefully it'll utilize this area. And most likely all we're ever going to see of it is up on top here, because it probably won't go down there other than to possibly drink. Once it webs up, then I'll start putting water droplets on the web for it to drink, so it doesn't have to always go down to the bottom. Or if it webs to the point where I can't get water down to the bottom, then we'll use the web as a way to water them. Now, Mike Farless or Casey Trenchels did a good video on Avicularia care. I'm just going to reiterate a few of the facts. Imagine where they come from. I always tell people this when they start talking about Avicularia, and I read care sheets as 80% humidity because they come from the rainforest in Guyana or Brazil or wherever it may be. And What you have to remember again is that they're up in the treetops, and yes, they may get the rainfall and it may be humid for a little while, but the air circulation up top is much greater than on the surface of the ground. So the humidity up high is a little bit less than it is down low, and it's not as concentrated. So you figure you take ground and you saturate it, and you can create higher humidity. If you get rainfall on a tree, then that evaporates. The humidity goes away pretty quickly. So they need airflow is what they need. And he's cleaning his bed of pulps. So this one's got circulation holes all the way around. I didn't add a ton of them because I don't saturate the ground. I don't create the humidity in there, so you don't need a ton of ventilation if you don't mist a lot. If you're one of the people that are dead set on misting, then you need to increase the ventilation holes. If you have 20 holes, I would put 30. So, and I always put holes down low with avicularia so that you have air flowing this way into and then up out of the top. Now this one's got holes in the top. I don't know if this one, yeah, that one does too. I think all of the ones that these jars like this I did with holes in the top. So you think of it as a chimney where you have air coming in and it's pushing up and then out of the top. So we'll see what this one does, and I'm going to take a look at this other one. I'm going to get something set up for it. I got to clean out the other, I think I had the Psalmopoeus reduncus in the other one, so we're going to get that cleaned out, get all the webbing out, wash it up, put some ground in it, find something to use as something for it to climb on, and then we'll get that one out and see what happens. Okay, so the second enclosure set up. This is the other decoration that I had. And I think it'll be okay. Hopefully, we'll web up the top around there. I glued this water dish up high. So, we'll see. I want to go ahead and get the other little one in here. And, I'm not a big, huge Critter Keeper fan, but I'm really looking at these things and thinking that some of these, some of these other spiders that are in some other containers might be better off in those. I could fill them up a little bit higher with substrate like the Grammostola pulchripes, sling, the Brachypelma emilia, the Neoholotheliense that are up top there. Maybe I'll put them in there, but then I can put baseball cubes up top and then put these here. These. I got these. There's 1, 2. I have another one. There's 3. And I have another one out in the other room. There's 4. I think I got another one someplace else. 5 of these little ones. So we'll see. I'm never really a huge fan of them because of how hard they are to open, and I do like the plastic, because the plastic is so see-through. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I might use them. I might not. You never know. So we're going to get this other little Avic in here, and then we'll do some updates later on in the week and see how they do. So that was painless. Very, very painless. We do have a Avic and pre-molt. A nice, rather plump, shiny abdomen, and I really don't know what they were talking about as far as missing a leg because all 8 of them are there. So I guess I adopted a perfectly healthy vine Avicularia species. So I'm going to have to come up with names with these two. So if anybody's got any suggestions, leave them down below. This one seems to have a little different abdominal pattern. So I'm going to take some pictures of this one and then send it to a friend and see if he might be able to give me somewhat of an ID on this one. And then, hold on one second. Now, open this other one back up again. Let's see if there's how much of a difference there is. You guys can look at this one while I'm unscrewing the lid. No, not really much, really, to be honest with you. A little bit difference in size, but the abdominal pattern is pretty much the exact same. So we got 2 of the same. I'm turning off the light that I need for you guys to see. There's that one, and there's that one. Again, pretty much identical. Why do I keep putting my finger in front of the camera? There's a close-up. You could see how tight and shiny the abdomen is. And here is this one. Now this one might even be starting, maybe not. There I go in front of the camera again. Not having very good camera skills today. So, 2 new little ones. Avicularia species. Don't know what to call them, so give me some ideas. I still have a bunch of tarantulas actually don't have names, but of course we have to go gender neutral because we have no idea what they are. And when you send me a name, if there's a reason why you chose that name, you know, if it's a character from your favorite show or whatever it may be, let me know. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll choose one of you guys' names for these two. And we're gonna do some more updates here coming up. We're gonna check on the Pamphobedius pedersi, see how they're doing. The other one, the one that molted, should be getting close to ready to eat. We'll be feeding the Avicularia metallica over there, that guy right over there. Oops. That's what happens when I hold the camera. That guy there, probably sometime mid next week, end of next week. And well, there's my beautiful little Avicularia rufa. Oh, she's so nice looking. She made a nice little web tunnel. She may have molted. I'm gonna have to check that. She may have molted. And this one's gonna be ready to eat by the end of the week. The Poecilotheria metallica. So we have some stuff that we'll be able to video, and this one here also. Well, that's another thing. I can update this guy because it is a guy. I met another keeper online. He's from Poland. His name is Pavel Ski. Very knowledgeable person. Very knowledgeable in spider anatomy. Really good with sexing both ventrally and in a molt. And I learned something from him about GBB molts and what to look for. And my molt had 2 little dark spots on it, and I thought that was the outer parts of the fused uterus externus with the spermathecae. And what actually it is the male accessory organs for a GBB. GBB female molt, you'll see one darkish circle in the middle as they're younger, like this one. You know, 2 inches, 2.5 inch and 3/4. That's a very good way of determining the sex of Chromatopelma cyanopubescens. Because they're a fused spermathecae, which means that the spermathecae is fused to itself, I believe, and the uterus externus. They're kind of hard to get until they get a little bit bigger. The actual really sex them. If you don't have a lot of experience. And I'm not a big, trust me, I've been doing this for a little while. But again, for that last 3 years, it's been heavy. Prior to that, it was only one tarantula for a long time. So I am by no means an expert. And I make quite a few mistakes in spider identification, which I think they are. I'm trying to get better at it. I am terrible at determining the differences between Brachypelma, Lasiodora, Pamphobedius. I need to really take time and study the differences visually, because we get so many, different spider requests on the groups of, what's this and what's that. And I try to be helpful, and I think that's my downfall, is I try to be helpful, and I'm not exactly 100% positive what I'm actually IDing. So I do definitely need to get a little bit better at this. Here's another thing that people always question about. If you look at, I think we went over this before. This is the Dabus penniloris, and you could see how it's sitting with its abdomen kind of just like hanging down. And people ask, well, why do they do that? Why do they do that? It's actually just a relaxing feature. Well, they're just, they get so relaxed, they're just hanging there, and their abdomen just kind of like relaxes so much it just kind of hangs down. I see that a lot with Poecilotheria species. My Subfusca used to do it a lot, and my Poecilotheria metallica does it quite a bit. So yeah, well, we're going to find out how these guys do over the course of the next month. I'm really excited to have these, actually. This will give me, these two, the one up top here, which is, I believe this is an Avicularia metallica, because of the white setae, but we'll find out as it gets bigger. And of course the Avicularia rufa, and then the 2 definite metallica, male and female. So, or Avicularia morph type 6. I really wish that they would have got those all labeled. I know it's a pain in the rear for a lot of people that deal with the AVIX, having to, you know, use these morph types and try to figure out which ones are which. And, you know, I go to Chase Campbell with all my AVIC questions. Very, very smart guy, knows a lot about AVIX, and his brother Chad. I think I talk to Chase a little bit more than I talk to Chad, and then there's other people that we can run stuff by. Martin Lees is a very, very big breeder of Avicularia. I'm not exactly sure where he's from. Very knowledgeable in Avicularia species. So generally, if I have questions about them, I'll go to Chase first, and generally he'll be able to answer my questions. And you know, there's certain people with certain genus of tarantulas that I go to specifically. You know, there was a post on one of the groups today, and there was a picture, and they wanted to know what species was. And people were saying Lasiodora paraibana, and I didn't think it was Lasiodora paraibana. It just didn't look right to me. And then I said Pamphibedius possibly, and I went to Carl Preen, who's a big Pamphibedius guy. He said absolutely not. So I need to start learning, you know, the differences on what, you know, a Pamphibedius actually really looks like. Again, when you're with them, when you work with spiders for 15, 20, 30 years, and you're with them a lot, you get to see the differences because you're studying them more. For most people that are casual collectors, or you know, people that just have a bunch of them like I do, you know, you feed them, you water them, you look at them, you watch them grow, you study certain ones the best that you can, you try to get as knowledgeable as you possibly can. But I still have a hard time with identification of spiders by looking at pictures. You know, I mean, you could put the spiders here in front of me, and if I have them, and that's the best way to do it, is learning by the ones you have. So, you know, me keeping a Psalmopoeus pulcher, if someone comes up and says, oh, this, you know, there's, I can't remember, it's a Langubucheri that kind of resembles the Psalmopoeus pulcher. I think I'd be able to tell those two apart because I have had these pulchers for a while. And like the Poecilotheria subfusca highland, lowland, I think I could tell those apart visually. But again, you know, you do have crossbreed stuff, and you just never know what happens. But so yeah, again, kind of excited to have these two new additions. See what you can do about helping me name them. It'd be cool if the names kind of went together somehow. I was thinking Flotsam and Jetsam. I thought those were pretty cool. But you guys tell me what you think. If you like those names, that's what we'll name them. Just tell me which one you think should be which, and we'll go from there. So thanks for tuning in again. Sorry I haven't put anything up in a while. I know it wasn't really all that long, but for me it seems like if I don't put a video up every 3 days, it's like I'm letting everybody down. But you know, I get tired and life gets in the way, and before you know it, it's, again, there's my crappy, I'm looking over at my collection trying to figure out who I need to feed, and I'm pulling the camera away from the spiders that you're looking at. So yeah, thanks everybody for the support. I'm not going to feed these guys for a little while because I do think definitely the bigger ones in pre-molt, smaller ones a possibility. We'll wait about a week, and I'll try to feed it a small mealworm tong feed, see if it'll take it. If it doesn't take it, then we'll just try again the following week, and I'll keep doing that till you can really tell if they're in pre-molt or not in pre-molt. So I also have a question for you, and I want your help with something. I'm going to give you 3 spiders, and one of those 3 spiders is going to move into a new home. Let me show you. Hold on. This is the new home. This is the same exact enclosure that the Grammostola species, Grammostola species, the Grammostola pulchripes is in. I do have to make a tad bit of repair right here. So we'll glue this down, and then we have that chip right here, which really isn't going to be that big of a deal. So yeah, this is the new home, and the spiders that I've chosen that could occupy this is going to be this guy here, which is Obi, the Brachypelma hamori. Oh my goodness, I forgot the other 2. Oh, the one that's in here, which he's back in the corner, buried, who needs a substrate increase. So either Hemus, this is the Euapolastris campostratus, or the Homoioma species blue, which I'm kind of not really thrilled about moving yet because I think it's in pre-molt, but it probably will need possibly a rehouse when it comes out. But that's the other one. So those 3 spiders are fighting for the opportunity of this luxury home. So I'm going to let you guys decide which one we move into there. So it's the Euopelacius campostratus, the Brachypelma hamori, which are both right now male until they're not. Both molts were very flat without any kind of structure whatsoever. Although that could change because my grandma stole Pulchripes was the same way. So until she molted into a female. So Brachypelma hamori, the Euopelacius campostratus, or the Homoioma species blue. Now, eventually the other ones are probably going to move into these kind of homes because they'll, this next stage for these spiders, they're going to slow down a little bit in their growth, I believe. So they're not going to gain a ton of size each time. So I think they'll be able to stay in these for a few molts before they need to be put into, a bigger Sterilite container or whatever. So yeah, so it's going to be who do we want to see a little bit more clearly. And that'll determine the way that I set the enclosure up. If we do the Euopelacius campostratus, this side here will have dirt up this high, and it'll slope down with a cork bark inside, and then we're going to I bought some plastic fake foliage, stuff like this, that we'll put all up on top to give it a foresty look, and then we'll have dried leaves down here. So the substrate will kind of come down into this area and then peak off. For the Brachypelma hamori, we're going to go with substrate up to about this level here, which is pretty close to what I would do with the Euopelacius campostratus. And then it's going to go over, and then we're going to kind of fall down, kind of similar in the sloping, but the structure of the dirt on this side, we're going to use a little bit of light gravel, a little bit of sand mixed into a substrate level over here. This side's going to have more of a organic potting soil with cocoa fiber mixed together. And then again, probably a cork bark in there, even though he's never used it. And the Euopelacius campostratus never had a hide. He just kind of dug a little den. I wished he probably needs more substrate, but so either one of them actually is ready to move. It's just a matter of which ones you guys decide. And then this girl here, I know you guys, so I'm not going to bring the light up here, but this is well, maybe I will. She's in there somewhere. There she is. That's Elaciodora parahybana. She's either going to move into one of those Sterilite containers like that, or I may just bump her up to something like that and just let her grow into it, because she's going to get big quick. So we may just go to that, and that'll be, she'll be able to sit up there, and then I'm going to be out of room completely. We'll have two enclosures open here, which will move the Brachypelma vagans out of the skinny one into the deeper one, and then probably move the Pteronopelma sazerae out of the skinny one into the deeper one, even though I just rehoused it. So that'll just move two little spots off of there. That's all it's really going to do. But I do think my best option is to take all these Sterilite containers here and move them to there. And then this area here will be for the bigger tubs. We'll move all that stuff there down to here in this area. So we'll have those three, of course, back there we'll move. And those three right here will probably, we may have room for them up there. If not, they'll move back to the back side. And then everything up there will end up moving here. That's if I have the room. So yeah, that's where we're at. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you guys, there's my mess, all kinds of different stuff here. End up collecting on my little desk here, and then every now and then I get the bug and I clean everything up, and because it's like a mess underneath it too. They got a bunch of stuff underneath there. Yeah, I get that bug and I'll clean everything up and move everything around, and I go from there. We also I do want to move her. You can see her right there. See, it's hard to see with this because this light will give you a glare. That's that's Chaos, the OBT, even though she's really kind of dug some burrow-ish, so I may leave her, I don't know. But I'd like to move her into, the European style stuff like down there. Deeper, taller. I just have to figure out where I'm going to put it. That's my dilemma. You know, I always say, oh, I don't got no more room, I don't got no more room, and then what's the whole video about? 2 different brand new spiders that are going to go up on the shelf. So, okay, well, again, thanks for watching. We'll see everybody soon, and have a great day.